Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2. So, Tiktaq'to is victorious. We taught Krokgar a lesson. It seems like we're probably going to have to teach him a few more before this thing is over. But it's nice to be done with this bit. We still have to take control of this region in order to fulfill our checklist. So let's get on that next, I guess. How long are we from... Oh, this turn. This turn we have the Red Atsunki available. Honestly, I might just use it. Like, we have a lot of distance to cover here. I know we don't have like a strong tactical reason here to use it. We're not trying to like catch an enemy army or anything, but we might fire it just because we have a lot of dudes who have a lot of distance to cover. So then we got to turn around and deal with this Midland problem, and yeah, I think we're probably just gonna do it. Okay, so let's get everybody their first move. So what do we want to do with Ratok? I do not want to start a thing with the dwarves without two armies, because I think it's pretty important that we hit Martek and Eye of the Panther on the same turn, because we have unwalled settlements near both of them that we will totally lose if we're not in position. I guess we can just move him up toward Martek. Yeah, he doesn't really have any like super pressing thing he needs to be doing. Uldamorin is just going to run very, very fast to the north, hopefully evading any goblin big bosses that might be a problem. And you're pretty much doing the same thing. We want to get really close to the river. No? You decided you didn't like that move order? There you go. Yeah, we want to get really close to the river so we can actually cross it with our next move order. One thing we can do, by the way, to curry favor with these factions that we're like close to getting more contracts with, is annoy their enemies with our heroes. If we spend money performing hero actions against armies, even if those actions don't necessarily do anything, we'll still get a positive hero actions against my enemy diplomatic modifier. We should definitely repair the Serpent Coast. Ooh, if we do that though, we're not going to have enough money for the right. Yeah, I think I want to do the right more than I want to have that building fixed. We'll fix the building next turn, because I want to get Yarek's army into Sartosa. We don't want this here. We can go ahead and pull that down. There's no way we're going to need to do any recruiting. Okay, so we have refreshed everybody's movement. Not anything terribly fancy to do over here. Let's not spend all of our movement. Let's get over here and see if we can see what the military situation is like. Unfortunately, I would love to use this guy as a scout. What is the deal with this guy? He's a skink priest of the heavens. Okay, he's maxed out Curse of the Midnight Wind, which is fine. That's an okay debuff. And Uranen's Thunderbolt, which is the spell that that's the spell that our main priest has on his staff. The lightning bolt that destroys artillery pieces. And then so he's ready to move up and get Comet and Chain Lightning and Arcane Conduit. This guy is actually going to be pretty useful. I think Heavens is a good school. This Harmonic Convergence is a really powerful spell, and it's not that expensive for how powerful it is. So we need to get him into an army proper, but I don't think it helps us a lot to put him in Tiktaq'to's army, because they already have a guy who is making good use of all of his winds of magic. So for right now, he's probably just a scout. Okay, what do we have over here? This is just a single lord, but he's mustering. We have a stack over here that we can't see the contents of, and the Golden Tower itself does not have walls, but has a somewhat large garrison. I mean, a lot of it's like skinks and stuff, but there's some temple guards and some sauruses. We can handle that, but we cannot hit them this turn. Do I want to fall back to the Cursed Jungle? I probably don't need to, right? Let's stay just barely on our side of the line so that we get our good replenishment and Senout can get back to full health. Because we're going to burn his health like crazy during the next fight. We know that's going to happen. Listen, overcasting is just really useful. Alright, I'm just going to jump into Sartosa. So because we are suffering this public order penalty from Confederation, we're going to see some problems in some places. Not a lot that we can do about it. I do think that probably it's going to be worthwhile, even though all we got out of it land-wise was a single settlement, because I really did want to get Krupgar. Okay, so how's Skavenblight doing? Actually, Skavenblight's holding for right now. Do we have... We do have the population necessary for the upgrade. We're going to have to put together some money. This'll happen after a battle, right? And then Uldamorin, we're basically just trying to get up to... the Border Princes have pushed all the way down to Dragonborn. We're basically just trying to get up to Vampire Town, right? They'll head north. We got to go around Ekrund here. Oh, of course we found Grievous. In fact, this is the guy. Yeah, this is that one Goblin Big Boss that has been knocking out our heroes. Well, that's a shame. Yeah, we can head up past Crooked Fang Fort. Like I said, we might throw some hero actions on some of the enemies of the dwarves just to make sure that we can curry enough favor to get the good contracts going. All right, 4 turns until we get our man back, and I guess we're good for now. Very curious what Middenland is doing all the way down here, what they think they're doing. Here's the crazy thing. They can't have even had vision, right? So, do they just blind march an army? Like, they know approximately where we are in the world. They just blind marched a full stack of dudes down here through everybody else's territory to fight me because they didn't have anything better to do. I think their neighbors ought to put some pressure on them. But we'll fight Boris Todbringer if we have to. It's not going to be particularly useful to us. I guess a full stack of Empire guys probably is fairly valuable. We'll make some money off of it. I have no idea what the Court of Liberius is doing. Maybe they just hate orcs this much. They're doing to the orcs the same thing that Middenland is trying to do to us. Yep, and here goes that thing, and of course it's going to work. The crazy thing is that you can see by the color behind their level, like you can see how Uldamorin, his thing is mostly blue. That tells you that most of his skill points are in blue stuff. This guy's circle is almost entirely yellow. He probably doesn't have any assassination buffs because so many of his skill points have been spent on personal combat strength. So he's just hitting the rolls every time. Like he's taking the low percentage shots and getting them. The fact that he's level 26 is definitely helping him, but it's a little... That's very frustrating. So this is what happens when you haven't bothered to train up a good assassin, is that you are at the mercy of the players who did bother to train up a good assassin. So we can I think we can take out the Golden Tower. I don't think it should be a big problem. I guess I'm saying that without actually knowing what the composition of those armies is. But I bet Tiktaq'to can roll up over there. We'll just we'll kill that one Skink Lord very easily with a lightning strike, and then we'll hit the city. Okay, so now he's backing off, or maybe he's just going to Skavenblight. I wonder if we could get Tilia to join in the war. That would be pretty useful if we could get them to run those guys off. Yeah, we'll talk to him. Let's start by... The first thing I want to do on our turn is go ahead and throw a hero action at that orc army. And then, hopefully, the favor that we carry from that will help bring everybody around. It is kind of crazy how extremely positive we are with the dwarves, and how reluctant they are to give us any kind of defensive alliance or anything like that. It seems like everybody is just extremely reluctant to deal with the Lizardmen for some reason. And I don't really know how the mechanics behind the diplomacy stuff work. It might be the case that there are, random factors, there are weights set up at the beginning of each game, and we just rolled really badly on those, and so we got a lot of computer players who are reluctant to do stuff. But it feels like it usually isn't this hard. Okay. Like I said, let's start with this thing. That's way too far to the south. Here we go. Kark Azgal has fallen to the orcs, and we are going to hinder their replenishment. Even if it doesn't work, we still get the diplomatic modifier, and we still get some XP. Alright, so like now if we mouse over the dwarves, you can see here, hero actions against greenskins, 5 points. And if we keep doing hero stuff, we'll keep gaining more modifier.
Welcome, friends of the
Nope, still not even willing to consider military access. We are trusted friends. This should be working. Okay, Karak Azul is friendly and also... Okay, they're not super close to us. We have a non-aggression pact with them already. Can we get anything else? Nope. And Engrund, they're not that friendly. Okay, Tilia and Estalia are down here, right? Hey, Tilia. Maybe you'd love some mutually beneficial trade? No? Maybe you'd like to join my war against... Middenland. In exchange for... 5,000 gold? We don't really have a lot to offer them, unfortunately. Aside from just money. Likelihood of success low. Okay. Never mind. And out of curiosity, hey, Estalia, you feeling like a trade agreement? Who's Estalia at war with right now? They are at war with the Greenskins, so that'll help. We continue to take hero actions against them. But see, we only got 3 points of favor with them, as opposed to the 5 we got with the dwarves. I wonder why the difference. And they're good friends with several people that we're good friends with. Border Princes are still not huge fans. Okay, we'll fix that. Basically, I think what we need to do to really get in good with everybody else is we need to get out here and start killing orcs. We have other goals, we have other things that we are currently working on, but we have to make time to fight the common enemy if we want to really get our bonds going. Alright, let's go blow some dudes up. I would love to be done with all this nonsense down here in the southern jungle. You know, it's possible we could just take the lightning strike here. Or, sorry, take the auto-resolve and just blow up the whole stack. With this much red in the bar, though, an auto-resolve would probably actually kill some of our units. Okay, we don't need any heal at all, so I guess we'll take the 100 XP. Yeah, I think that's still too red to auto-resolve. So they have a Blessed Stegodon with the poison attacks and the perfect vigor. They have a small number of skink skirmishers. Okay, so yeah, just not very much ranged at all. Alright, let's do the thing. I do apologize for the number of kind of samey battles. That's just the nature of a Total War Warhammer campaign. It's less bad, it's less of a problem here than it is in any of the historical Total War games. But it's still... It's less bad here in terms of the sameness of the military compositions. I can't speak to how different the battles actually are. The only other Total War game I played was Shogun II. And that's because I got it for free with my graphics card when I built my last computer, which gives you a pretty good idea of how long ago that computer build was. And it's fine. To be perfectly honest with you, I played it for about an hour and I was like, huh, that's interesting. I'll come back and really dig into that later. And then later never came, as it usually doesn't. Okay, we don't get to see anything about their setup. So we do want to watch out for the Stegodon. Make sure that we don't fly directly into it too much. I guess the smart thing to do is probably to separate these guys, right? The way we have been the last couple of battles where we were afraid of actually getting hit. Okay. And Wizard needs to be up front, and it sort of doesn't matter where everybody else is at. Get our Salamanders set up. It's definitely going to be Salamanders against the Stegodon, right? I think that's probably the smartest way to do it. It's just a matter of figuring out when our opportunity for that is. Let's have the Carnosaur over here and the Cold Ones over here. Can we get the Cold Ones? Yeah, we can get the Cold Ones stealthy. The Carnosaur is not going to be able to hide in the forest, I don't believe. Yeah, he's too big and terrifying. There's nothing you can do to stop him from just constantly roaring. So, kind of tends to blow stealth. Alright, where are the ranged? Okay, so they have a Slan Priest. We gotta watch out for magic. They have a Scar Veteran. Stegodon is on this side, fully in range of all the flyers over here. So let's fix that. I guess the smart move is just to fly directly through, right? And do I want to have you focus on the dinosaur? Probably not. Probably what I want to do is go after... Leadership is going to be tough with these guys. We can't just burn down their lord real fast and expect them to give up, but I think it's still worth blowing up the Slan, because he's their only caster. We can get rid of their magic entirely. And on this side, I guess we just try to take out the chameleon skinks as quickly as we can. And Tiktaq'to, you know, your deal is basically just kind of get in the middle. Provide auras. Okay. The most important thing is taking out these chameleon skinks, because the poison's really annoying. And they've grouped up so nicely for us. Yeah, I can't believe those two units of skinks just, like, got directly on top of each other like that. I couldn't have gone any better. Okay, let's focus up. How are you so damaged already? I guess this must be the unit that got hit by that spell, huh? Okay. Let's start with some Amber Spears and some General Lord sniping stuff. Are there any other... There's one other ranged unit over here. A couple other ranged units. They have some javelins. They're definitely less of a concern than the chameleon skinks, but we should probably blow them up anyway. I should probably give specific attack orders, right? You guys... Probably what we want to do is finish the job on the chameleon skinks as quickly as possible. And for the most part, they're just going to mill around, panicked, it seems like. They're not even really going after the rest of our army. Work on them as well. Who over here still has rocks left? You guys both still have rocks left. One of you fire at him, one of you fire at... Actually, let's change that up a little bit. Okay. This is the unit that needs the next group. They're trying to get away. They understand what's happening here. They see the plan. The Great Plan. Speaking of the Great Plan, I can't help but notice that Slan is not very injured. Are Slan magic resistant? They totally might be, right? Otluax? Let's see his stats. It's hard to look at the stats of an enemy because you can't. The thing's a lot less sticky. You can select one of your own units. Okay, he is only 15% magic resistant. So we do want to just keep hammering him. Is he moving around? He is moving around. Let's go Fireball. Yeah, that did some damage. Alright, they're finally starting to actually move toward us a little bit. Let's queue up another great big Amber Spear. We haven't actually had a miscast yet, which is nice. I guess I've only cast one real spell. So how do we want to deal with this? Because they have a lot of ground units. We probably need to start dropping rocks over here as well. Breaking up these sources a little bit, because we're actually not super well outfitted for the kind of melee combat that we're going to have to engage in. This is going to help, obviously. most concerned about the spears. I think probably it is the case that our Carnosaur can deal with a pretty large number of non-spear sources. You just got to keep him away from those spears. Those are temple guards. Is it the case that all temple guards have anti-large, or is the anti-large because ours are special? Nope, they're all pretty good against large. All right, so we don't really want the source to get involved, or the Carnosaur to get involved in that. But there are temple guards on the outside of the formation on both sides. Man, they really do have a lot of sources. Yeah, they have a lot of anti-large, actually. Our Carnosaur and our cold ones are going to have to be pretty careful. Let's see. Those guys are all kind of giving up, but only kind of. What you might call fake giving up, because they're definitely going to turn around and harass us more. Okay, salamanders are doing their thing pretty effectively. Have my own old ones attack these guys. So, like, this is a problem, right? We have very, very little actually, like, stand and fight melee. What I really want to do here is wait until the melee are committed and then have our red-crested skinks run around from the back and start doing the thing, but... Unfortunately, they're extremely numerous. They're really very numerous. Good news is, they're pretty balled up. So... And you guys basically just have to shoot into the backside of the temple guards. They put their Stegodon in straight charge-in melee mode. Yeah, we just, like, we don't even have enough bodies to prevent these dudes from charging right through our lines. What I really want to do with the Carnosaur is have him flank around as well, but, like, there's so many of them that they're still going to be approaching us for quite a while. My plan was to wait for the battle lines to meet and have the Carnosaur loop around, but he can't do that until these guys show up, because if he does, he's just going to get surrounded by spears, which obviously is unacceptable. And we are going to stick to the plan on killing their lord, because their lord needs to go. I do not want spell casting. Yeah, this sucks, man. Alright, get over here and try to focus on the Saurus Spears. The Temple Guard are a real problem, but they're also more heavily armored. It's not that much of a difference. Okay, you know what? Just hit the Temple Guard. You guys over here are already just hitting the Temple Guard. Yeah, we have to kill the enemy. We have to kill the enemy lord quickly. We might have to use the red-crested skinks to get a little control of the situation. In fact, maybe what I need to have them do is move up like this. They don't necessarily make the best people for fighting the Stegodon, but we got to get some range here. Guys, back off. You should... I don't know if I think it's important to have them target the Stegodon, given how quickly I think we're going to be able to kill it. You get over here and help with this. Okay, I think our wizard is missing. I think that's what's happening over here, why this guy's still alive. He's just not hitting his amber spears. The thing is, I really want to commit in the other direction. Let's have him shoot this fireball. So that's a Tempest. Minus 72 speed. Minus 72% speed. Well, do your best to get out of it. Oh, over here is what I said. It's like right on top of these guys. They don't have a good path out at all. Make sure that once people are disengaged, they have a real target. Okay, so we've broken their cold ones pretty solidly here. As long as we get out before the Saurus spears get us, we should be okay. We have to keep a pretty close eye on that. These guys still have rocks, and we should definitely have them come over here and deliver those rocks. Yeah, armies that are just very heavy on real infantry, also a little bit of a problem. Those were pretty good, though. Those were pretty good rocks. Okay, so we've broken their Blessed Stegodon enough to get it to run away. That's going to have to be good enough for right now. Fire... Yeah, sort of into the mass. You should do the same thing. Shoot it like the temple guards, I guess. Alright, the Ripperdactyl Riders need to get out of there. The Cold Ones need to get out of there. You guys, I don't even know what you guys need to do. I guess shoot at these Saurus Spears to disable pursuit a little bit. Alright, we're wearing them down. So we have a moment here where we can cast something. I'm going to actually drop a Flock of Doom on top of this Sphinx cohort to just get them to disengage completely. I think that will probably break them the rest of the way. And then we need to turn around, and we need to drop the Curse of Unrare, like here maybe? Just murder their melee attack, try to make it so that we can survive long enough for the... yeah, survive long enough for the salamanders to do their thing. Can't remember the... For some reason, can't remember the name of this unit that I'm always using. Okay, and then once that Amber Spear goes off, we gotta actually use his rock a little bit here. You can see we're doing okay. We're holding on. Seems like an okay time for a lightning bolt because they're very tightly grouped. Alright, this land is breaking. Not broken, but breaking. Okay, you guys need to get in there. You need to get over here and drop your shield buff. Okay. I'm using these chameleon skinks as blockers for the moment, which is probably not ideal. Our cold ones don't really have a good angle of approach, unfortunately, the way the battle has turned out. The smartest thing to do with them is probably to run them through over to here. And then from there have them charge the enemy in the back. You guys don't... Yeah, you don't have much to do except just keep throwing explosives into the problem. Carnosaur has engaged as best he can. This is a missile resistance buff, so it doesn't actually do anything. I really do want to keep on their lord until he's actually dead here. Stegodon's coming back. We have a little... Oh, yeah, we have plenty of salamander fire left. We can handle that. Get the temple guard with this. Okay. You got to get over here and actually contribute. The Lord is in retreat. I mean, retreat's good enough if he actually continues retreating. My concern is that we will, as soon as I stop attacking him, he'll come back and just be casting again. And see, like, this stuff. Faw's protection upgraded. This is the kind of thing that needs to stop happening. I guess that's as good a place to fireball as anywhere. And then we have Wissen's Wild Form available, or... Can't overcast crows, but there are so many enemies gathered so tightly here, it feels like the crows have got to be the move. Alright, the salamanders are doing fine work, but they need to finish driving this guy out. So your rock is already committed. Yeah, see, he's unbreaking even though we didn't stop attacking him. I didn't tell you guys to I told you guys to attack somebody in this group, didn't I? Okay, the Colossadon hunters are getting torn apart despite the fact that all they did was charge somebody's backside. Do we want to retarget any here? Like, it's pretty important that we deal with the Temple Guard still. Let's try to make sure that we're slowly getting through them. It is happening. It's just taken forever. But if we're about to do a charge directly into them, maybe we should switch up the targeting on this side. And maybe target those guys instead. Okay. So we're probably not going to get to cast any more spells, right? Well, actually, there's still a lot of winds of magic in the pool. We've been burning them fast, but there's going to be some replenishment time. And fortunately, the Stegodon did charge directly into our enemies, so get a good flank charge there. So the explosions are still damaging all of their sources. But we're kind of getting there. This would be a really great time for that Slan Mage Priest to actually die. 345 health left. Oh, okay. Never mind. I was going to say, because they're starting to waver, his death would probably immediately break everybody. But they broke before that. And, you know, we had a lot of flying units who had low health bars, but they had just taken, like, very even damage to each of the figures in the unit. So, you can see here, we took one actual loss on the Colossadon Hunter unit and no actual losses on any of the others. Even Tiktaq'to got himself a couple of kills that time. I was starting to get a little worried. If they hadn't broken, if they had all the leadership buffs that we have, and their troops actually fought until they were defeated, I think we would have ended up losing probably most of our melee stuff. But we would have won the battle, so I guess they saw that writing on the wall. Probably in that case, the smarter thing to do when we're dealing with this much melee mass is to just use Fire Leech Bolas on the flyers at the beginning, save the rocks, and then drop the rocks once the melee really gather up. We could have gotten a lot of kills that way. You gotta remember that for the future, especially if we run into orc armies that are very heavy on orc boys, or if we do end up having to fight some dwarves or something. Alright, no reason to loot or sack, just occupy. So we will be at full next turn, and Tiktaq'to has a small garrison and no defending army. Okay. Looks like we're gonna have this part wrapped up pretty quickly. And I am still really enjoying him being on his flying mount. We will pick up the other mounts before he level caps, just so that we have the versatility available. Okay, who has unassigned skill points? Krepus, our Skink Chief. Well, it turns out he is an Iron Disciplinarian. And a person who gains XP very, very slowly. Oh, we definitely have to prioritize this. This is pretty important. Let's do that before I forget. And then, yeah, if we're gonna go after these guys, it's got to be from the north and the east. So I guess Ratok does need to move back around. We need to get him over here to potentially fight orcs anyway, right? And this other Ratok, man, they need to come up with a larger list of names for all the factions. I feel like we always have this problem where we have like 2 heroes and a general on each of the names in the pool. I'm a little worried about King Hakor here. Really hope he doesn't take Rasetra from us. If he does, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be annoying. Okay, here we need a public order building pretty badly, it turns out. And actually, given the growth level of this place, another 10 growth added on top of that would be really nice. We can also repair this. And I guess it makes sense to just upgrade the major settlement building. I don't think we have anything else that's super pressing that we need to do here. Alright, and we are still very, very slowly researching that thing. We still have this, which we are not going to do. Okay, hold on a second. Did we actually move all of our heroes? Oh, I had Hexstock do his thing at the very beginning of the turn, that's right. I'm eager to see Krokgar in combat. I'm eager to see his stats, even. I think I remember hearing that he is one of the better overall combat lords, although I think that might be once you get him his mount. He has like a super special Carnosaur mount. I think all of the Saurus lords can get a Carnosaur eventually, but his is, I don't know, bigger and meaner, I guess. Those are really the only traits that Carnosaurs have. If you're going to make a better Carnosaur, he just has to be more of those two things. Okay, King Hakor is turning around. That's nice. So yeah, we're going to find ourselves in... well, I was going to say we're going to find ourselves with Tiktaq'to moving back toward the front soon, but that's not really true, because there is this this group of orcs that we're going to have to deal with over here. Yeah, it's still actually going to be quite a while before Tiktaq'to is back with the main army. That's alright. He was the right army to send down for the task that he's doing. Because I have, like, supreme confidence, mostly in the Blessed Carnosaur, but also in the rest of that army. They can do the difficult thing. So you see this orc army use the underway stance to get out of Karak Azgal and just flee. It looks like they have no interest in actually holding on to anything down here. That's a little bit of a bummer for us, because it's going to make us harder to... It's going to make it harder for us to continue doing army actions against... or hero actions against that army. We can hit Karak Azgal this turn, but it might not be worth it, because Karak Azgal is just going to fall the turn after. It might be better to have that hero pursue that army as best he can. I did not actually move Yarrick out of Sartosa. If these guys are actually going around to Skaven Plate, they probably... Okay, it looks like they are. They probably won't attack it the first turn. We don't actually even see anything in that stack that has the Siege Attacker trait. So we probably have time to catch up. I was sort of hoping that I would not have to move Yarrick north, because I really do want to wrap up this dwarf nonsense. You know, if we have to take those mountains, I'd prefer to take them quickly and get back on track. But it looks like we're gonna have to do this. The thing about Middenland is, like, their actual land is over here, so we're not going to be able to take their stuff to convince them that they need peace from us. They're just going to be a constant annoyance, provided that this isn't a one-off army. But I assume, if the AI math indicates that it's worthwhile to send an army down here, then it will continue to indicate that, and we will continue to see more of their garbage. I guess maybe that's, maybe we'll have to organize an expedition far enough northward to put the Midlanders away. Did that settlement just go gray? I wonder if the High Elves are having problems with the Purple Chaos faction. Hold on a second. Jump over here. It did indeed. Tor Anluk is unowned. Win 4 battles to get... Ugh. Blessed Skink Skirmishers. This is just like a wasted Blessed spawning. And Krepus is really, really good at public order now. Yeah, that... Well... You know what? There's lots of High Elves over here. I'm sure they'll be able to figure it out. But what was, sorry, what was the thing? I just saw that it was a win 4 battles. Okay, so not something we have to think about. Yeah, that's very disappointing. That's like just not getting a blessed spawning. Alright, well obviously we knock out Tiktaq'to completely trivially. You know what? We gotta resolve this. I'm gonna quick save, and we're gonna try it, and if we lose a unit, then we'll just go back and fix it. Okay. Ooh, wow, that's a lot of money. Do we need a lot of money right now? Would I rather just have the settlement built up? You know what, the thing is, this settlement... Ooh, that's nice. The settlement isn't actually going to be valuable to us, right? It's just something we're trying to own because we have to own it. Okay. So now, this part's done. I guess the next thing for Tiktaq'to to do is move up through Resetra, grab Resetra, and then take out Granite Massif so that we actually own the whole pass. And once we take out Granite Massif, we're going to have to wipe out these ones too, because probably these orcs will never, like, just chill out. They probably will hate us forever. And then, we have the Dwarves of Carrick Zorn here. There's a gold mine there. We have two ways we could handle this. We could, I guess 3 ways. We could take this stuff and just hold it, and have a kind of a small, weak province that probably has to have public order buildings and stuff, because it won't have we won't have a commandment for it. Or we could take Carrick Zorn, just wipe out Carrick Zorn, get the whole province, get ourselves another gold mine. Or we could just burn these instead of taking them over, leave it empty and let the dwarves have it. But the fact that there's a gold mine here kind of makes me think we just want to take the whole thing over. I don't know, I guess it's not a decision we have to make right this second. Hey, the Golden Tower has a strategic location. Wow, that's a pretty good building. Holy crap. Income up from all buildings in this province and all regions and adjacent provinces. Yeah, that is pretty good. Okay, definitely repair this. The scrying pool we can just pull out. We don't need that. Okay, so we are definitely going to turn this into as much of a money-making province as we can. And then we have some money to play with here. What do we want to do with it? I guess we have... How's Lamia doing? Okay, Lamia is not close to tearing up. Well, we have a lot of places where we can make financial improvements. Let's figure out the rest of our armies first. So what we probably want to do with Ratok is have him move around toward El Kalabad so that he can attack the Eye of the Panther on the first turn we go to war with these dwarves. I hate that we have to do this, but I do think we have to do it. Do I want to put myself in a position where that army could just grab us in the sea? Could we fight them? They have a lot of handguns, which is definitely concerning. They have Demigryph Knights, proper flying cavalry. These guys are actually a little bit scary. We have the 2 Stegodons, we have our Salamanders, but Salamanders are going to be bad against flying cavalry, because even though the Salamanders do a ton of damage to them, there's no way for us to keep them from attacking charging the Salamanders. That army might actually be tough to fight.
No.
But they do have some traditional infantry, which is going to be completely ineffective against us. Yeah, I mean, I think we have to go up here. We have to make them go away. We can't just let them take Skaven Blight, as much as I kind of don't care about Skaven Blight as part of our empire, because again, it is on the list. We take our great plan list very seriously. Are we still... Nope. All of a sudden, we're negative 174 with the top knots. Whatever it was that they liked about us must have aged out. And now it's all negatives. Well, harassing these guys is also going to get us some love. From the dwarves, at least. Oh, hey, and he was actually successful. So let's see, we've buffed those up as much as we can. I guess damage walls is next. And blow up some pieces of some settlements. I don't have any idea what we're doing with this guy. Okay, let's spend a whole lot of money. Numas can be leveled up. That's a pretty valuable thing to do. Qatar still doesn't have walls. I'm not 100% certain that it needs them, but I also don't think there's anything else that we really need in that slot. Let's just go through things here one by one. So, like, what do we want to upgrade over here? Actually, hold on. Is the Black Pyramid? The Black Pyramid is upgradable. That is a high priority. Then here at Khemri and Alhaik are definitely the places that we care about the most. Let's get this started and go ahead and demolish that. And level up this thing as well. So we almost have access to the best dinosaurs over here. And then we can pursue more upgrades for this place later. We are already not getting the value of our geomantic pylon because we not connected to a region that has another one. That's part of why the Black Pyramid of Nagash is going to be so valuable. It's going to help connect us through here. And we just don't really have the build space for a pylon in Alhaik. This isn't a big deal, but it just means that it's harder to connect Khemri to higher level settlements. Yeah, and Khemri does not directly connect to the Black Tower, despite the fact that the regions are adjacent. Alright, so these are level 5. We're getting the good version of this now. Okay, are there any other pressing financial improvements? I mean, like, more value out of our trade agreements. It's certainly worth something. We have leveled up industry buildings everywhere that we can afford to have them. Turn off the web display, because it's just like overlaying more text boxes on top of all of our text boxes. So what about, like, in Karagorod? We're still really far away from getting any kind of growth going. We can probably cut this, right? Cut that and replace it with a growth building. And then over here we can make some improvements. You can also get one of these. Oh, this is another like 50 gold per turn, and also trade goods. Okay. We're going to be back up to a reasonable amount of income, like pretty soon. Honestly, 6k per turn is not bad. There's no way into this mountain range from the east, but once we attack the orcs have that underway stance, so they can leave the mountains to the east, which is a little bit annoying. Maybe it is not worth grabbing Rausetra because we won't be able to defend it. I still think I want to take it, though, because I would love it if we didn't have to have Tiktaq'to turn back around to grab that. Although I guess, really, there's no version where we'd have to have him turn back around. We could just temporarily hire another army over there. Yeah, actually, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave it alone, because I think if we own it, it's significantly more likely that once we declare war, they will use the underway to get over there and attack it, than it is that they will just suddenly decide to settle the empty city after all this time. And then once we've cleaned them up, we can just hire a lord temporarily to go over and settle Rausetra and then disband him. Looks like the main Warriors of Chaos faction in the north is still pretty powerful. It always takes the AI a little bit. I have seen the AI successfully defend the first wave of the Chaos invasion, but it always takes them a little bit to kind of get their act together. A lot of it comes down to how powerful Kislev is. If the Kislev faction has been doing well in pushing the Norskins back and they have a lot of money, they can fight Chaos, but if not, they get run over and then nobody is organized enough to defend. This is just a bunch of tiny squabbling nations up there. Midland does not look super strong. I wonder if this is their only army. Are they just going back to Sartosa? Alright. I bet they think this was pretty clever. Kislev looks weak. That's a bad sign. Alright, so we'll just we'll follow around and press them from the north. I just want to make it so that they can't run back to Skavenblight. If they actually want to land on this island and attack Sartosa, I think we can handle them. It's still very annoying for me that we even have to handle them, though. I can't even... One of these Norskin factions declared war on us like a million years ago, right? I can't even remember which one it was. Hopefully they don't think it's worth their time to send down a little garbage army. Alright, the purple and blue chaos factions are just about dead. Unfortunately, when they are defeated, it will not be the end of their influence. We're going to have to deal with those guys for a long time. Okay, so you are just full speed, which is not very fast through this jungle, unfortunately. Full speed up to Granite Massif. We have our hero over here who can... He can start scouting the situation up here. Let's figure out what those orc armies look like and where they are. I think we'll put Yarrick in normal movement mode. For some reason, sailing faster makes all of your units tired in battle. We'll just do normal movement mode and we'll wait right here. You want to push south to Sartosa, you feel free, but no going back to Skavenblight. Skavenblight is managing to hold on. Yeah, so corruption is still falling. The military crackdown bonus is gone, but we're holding steady. Once we have a couple more building slots to work with, we'll actually be able to get that number trending upward. So... I'm wondering, I'm going to have Rathawk actually reverse direction and go up to Alhaik. I'm going to try to keep an eye on this army. Maybe we can press it between our two armies, because he can't really move on these dwarves until Yarrick is ready to support him anyway. Alright, I think we're going to try to continue moving north. We can harass the orcs on the other side of the river.
Welcome, friends of the
Oh, it's yellow now.
Won't happen.
Okay. We're probably close. I mean, I've said that about a bunch of things that didn't end up actually happening. But, you know, we are still trending upward with them. It's a good sign.
I am ready to parley. I hope you...
We are not really still trending upward with these guys. We've just about hit where we're getting to. So, we need them to start being reasonable. Oh, the Wizard Caliph's Palace is ready for a level up. We should take that and then destroy the growth building. I don't know exactly what we're going to do here, but... And this place is low geomantic web strength because of the fact that we don't have Vulture Mountain. I guess it is connected to Alhaik, actually. Well, it'll be good for us to have Vulture Mountain so that we can run the geomantic web up through there. Lock still has empty slots because there's not really anything of value we could build here. I guess we could just put in basic walls at Quixotle. There's nothing else that's worth putting in this slot. It's a waste of money, though. We just don't need it. This is certainly not a waste of money. It's another 3%. 3% plus 2% from this. Yeah, so it's another 5% money from the buildings in this area, which is pretty good when you have a level 5 port. Black Pyramid is still 4 turns from its upgrade, and we are a lot of turns away from another upgrade here. Okay, I guess that's it. Doesn't feel like a very, certainly not a momentous turn. Alright, come on, Midland. Actually commit to a strategy, you huge cowards. And is this the last turn? I think this might be the last turn of our Confederation debuff. So once we no longer have the -8 public order from that, Skavenblight is going to already be trending positive on public order. We have solidified it. It is now held, provided that bored humans from the north don't ruin everything. It's hard for me to imagine that there is so little going on around Middenland that they don't need this army. So let me explain my logic a little bit more on not taking Rasetra. There's some danger, I suppose, that Liberus could sweep in and grab it since we're not getting it. But if we leave it empty and then claim it with a lord later after taking out the orcs, all we have to do is hire a single lord and then have him run up there and grab it. If we take it, initiate with the orcs, they attack it because it's a settlement owned by their enemy that is weak, and they manage to successfully take it, then either Tiktaq'to has to turn around and run all the way back there, and he can't do it as fast as they did it, or we have to hire a lord and hire him a bunch of units so that he can actually take the settlement by force. And it's a major settlement, so it'll have walls automatically and stuff. I think it is best that we do not encourage the orcs to take control of that, because it would be a pain in the ass to root them out. It's going to be way more expensive for us to get orcs out of there than it is to just resettle it ourselves after the war. And we've got to be getting pretty close to our intended number of province ownerships. Okay, excellent. They are committed and 100% completely screwed. I don't even remember when they declared war on us. It's the thing about humans, though. They never understand the greater good. Sometimes I think they've never even heard of the Great Plan. And that really is a lot of dwarves. How can they afford to run 3 armies on the tiny amount of territory that they have? I guess they do have a gemstone mine. This is frustrating, because like the dwarves are a distraction from the thing we actually want to be doing with the orcs, and then these Midlanders are a distraction from the thing we want to be doing with the dwarves. So we have, like, telescoping interruptions here. This will be a long time before we're actually ready to fight any orcs. I guess as we continue to trend up on income, maybe it will become reasonable to run another army sometime soon. Each army is more expensive than the previous one, though. Okay, Krokgar is ready. And yep, there goes the Confederation debuff, so actually very positive on public order everywhere, I imagine. Yep. Okay, cool. We've done some fine work on that front. So I think we want to move before we replace him. Ooh, also, let's go hit this Skull Reef. This is one of these things where you have to fight. We will definitely fight. Pirate coves are some of the world's most elusive places, where the wealth of local sea brigands is secretly kept and fiercely defended. It seems that today may be your lucky day, as your lookout in the crow's nest seems to have spotted one. A small island cave next to which a black ship is moored. The ship belongs to an infamous fleet of vampire pirates, and it appears there are zombie deckhands transferring treasure chests onto the ship right now. It's an opportunity for a big payday, but these unliving sea dogs certainly won't give up their wealth too easily. Okay, so we're going to do this. This can be Ratok's last action for the moment. We are not actually predicted to win this. They have some big cannons. They have rotting leviathans, which are like dinosaur-sized crab monsters. And they have a lot of depth guard that I'm not too concerned about. Well, we have a lot of Saurus spears, and we have Lord Croak. We will figure it out. Yeah, I'm not too worried about the rotting leviathans, honestly. Like, we're pretty good at dealing with large enemies. Mostly, I'm concerned about the cannons and all of their gunners. It would be a lot easier for us to take out the cannons with our flying units if they didn't have 2 units of hand cannons, which we have seen be very, very effective against our flyers in the past. I'm pretty sure when you swap out the lord of an army, the new lord comes in with 0 movement, so the whole army is prevented from moving. This is why I wanted to do this before placing him with Krokgar. We do a little bit better than... I just, like, completely clicked the wrong button. It's fine. We have a lot of winds of magic. Or we have a lot of winds in the bar. So the cannons are right there, and... can we only see part of their... That's weird. For some reason, on setup, we can only see a portion of their army. Well... There's usually not line-of-sight stuff going on during the setup phase. This is pretty weird. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have 3 of our units of flyers be over here. Well, obviously, we don't want to set up directly in the line of fire of the hand cannons. Unfortunately, we cannot set up all the way to their side, or I totally would. Move these guys over a little bit. Alright. And then we want to make sure that our Blessed Bastillodon is in a position where he's going to have an actual angle. Apparently that's... Why is this not a legal location? He's pretty far back from the line there. Okay. Put him there. Oh, is this another one of those things where, like, it won't let me deploy him at certain angles for some reason? That might be what was happening there. Okay, just be ready, I guess. You guys can be right there. I'll put the Chameleon Skinks behind you. Okay. First things first, let's make sure we are firing Arcane Conduit on cooldown. And now let's figure out the cannon situation. So we have to take out the cannons, and we have to take out the hand cannon crews. And Rotting Leviathans have a ranged attack. I can't remember. Okay, I think there's a sniper. Yeah, they just have a sniper on their back. So that's bad for us, but it's not as bad as if they were like loaded with cannon crews like the Rotting Prometheans are. So the first rocks have to go on the actual hand cannon units, right? Here comes that volley. Okay, that's a pretty good start. And then work on the Carronade. Actually, probably just finish these guys off. I'm less worried about the pistols. Like, the pistols are still going to do really good damage to us because there's a lot of them and we don't have any armor. We probably do have to do a rock drop on the pistol unit, actually. Yeah, probably. Okay. Let's do it. We just need to lower the total number of guns that are firing at us here. Okay, so those guys are crumbling. You two have to work on those guys. Okay. If we can get control of these ranged units here, then we can just fire leech Bolo the Carronades out. And do we have to move the Bastillodon forward to have range on these enemies? We totally do. Well, let's do that because I want to see his thing in action. So the beam is... Well, weapon strength, he's good against infantry. Beam kills people's accuracy, so that'll probably be good against the cannons. Cannons are specifically anti-large, so he is in danger from those cannons. We want to make sure that we fix that. And then we have one bomb left. Do we want to use it on the pistol guys just to clear out? I think we probably do. But that is not as important as making sure these guys get their first bomb off. Unfortunately, their first bomb is not as effective as I would like due to the large number of them that were dead at the time of dropping. Alright, we're going to have to fire another bomb off here. Okay, so you can see that huge beam of light striking over here occasionally. It seems to be doing some alright damage. Alright, on this side... You're the one who still has the bomb. Okay. So I'm doing direct game capture, so you guys can't see this. but there are people on I still have Steam Friends notifications on, and there are people on my friends list, like, jumping in and out of games a lot. I assume having some kind of technical problem that they're trying to fix. So unfortunately, I keep getting friend notifications, and they come up right here, completely covering up the box, so I'm kind of having to guess sometimes where the pause and play buttons are. This is not going as smoothly as I was hoping it was going to. Also, it seems like this guy does not get a very large number of shots. What is your ammo count? Yeah, only 15. Okay, well, we're nearly done on this side. That cannon's almost toast. Yeah, this is going really poorly. I think you can probably fall back now. I think that carronade is under control. So you guys deal with that, because those guys do totally have a firing angle. There's a little bit of an arc on the cannon shot. And we have incoming. Let's get salamanders formed up a little bit better, and salamanders arc their shots pretty well, I think. Alright, let's try a great big deliverance. Let's try to read. They're not... I guess probably we mostly want to wait until they're grouped up. We can try some little ones. If these miss, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, it's a miss. Because it doesn't fire immediately when the timer goes off. Alright, let's make sure the salamanders are focusing fire on the same guy. We've almost got it over here. Somehow that zombie gunnery mob they're just crumbling very, very slowly. There's only 7 of them left, though. We don't have to worry about them actually doing any meaningful damage. Now, I would expect units of depth guard to beat normal Saurus guys in combat straight up. But we do have a little bit of a numbers advantage for the moment. We might be able to take advantage of. We're going to try to get us a flank here. You guys get in. Everybody in. Okay, and this looks like a place to try another explosion. Maybe like here, so that we're guaranteed... You know, I'm just going to go for a big one. A big one that's really good against armor. We're going to drop it here and hopefully catch a bunch of dudes, but also get those guys in the explosion. I'm just trying to keep an eye on this, because we want to pull these guys back into the main combat area the moment that becomes feasible. Our Saurus Old Blood is not specifically anti-large, but he is armor-piercing, and also his attacks are poisonous. So I guess go get that dude. This other crab has somehow managed to get through our line. Okay, that explosion we didn't actually watch, but apparently it was pretty good. It is taking us a while to get through those dudes, huh? Alright, you focus up. I do not want them attacking the zombie pirate deckhands. You guys, done with your jobs, need to get over here and provide me with some assistance. So fortunately, these are just a deckhand mob with polearms. They're not like real enemies. We can kind of ignore them. They are pretty weak. Yes, for now, just focus over there, and Lord Croak is going to have to start providing some... I think we want to do the shield over here, where the big crabs are, and that means these guys are just kind of out of luck. Sorry, dudes. Can perform another deliverance. Did you forget your orders? Get over here. They still had the movement order, they were just not doing it. They didn't feel like it was important. Keep working him over. He's going to have to fight through these to get to the crabs. What are you doing? I've given you specific orders to attack a crab. And Lord Croak is just in melee with that huge crab, and I mean, he's doing it. He's got his spooky ghost explosions. Also, fortunately, it's very easily distracted. Give ourselves another explosion over here. Sorry to all of the guys that are going to get caught in this. Focus on the Death Guard. Lord Croak is, like, pretty alright. He is an okay unit. Alright, we don't have to worry about those dudes at all. Let's get over here and help me fight Death Guard. Yeah, Lord Croak was definitely worth all the effort we had to go to get him. Start working on these Depth Guard. I think we're seeing a lot of crumbling here. Saurus Spears are just tough as hell. You could probably disengage from the deckhands and actually get this guy. Okay, we broke him. Yeah, I was a little worried about the number of guns we were seeing there, but if they had kept the abominations back for a little bit and had the snipers on them just shoot at our flying units, we might not have been able to get through all of their ranged quickly enough. We might have ended up with the Caranods just continuing to be able to fire into us throughout the whole battle, which would have been a total disaster. 238 kills for Lord Croak. He is alright, man. He feels super powerful. He's a fun toy to play with, but he's not going to win battles entirely on his own. I think he's a well-balanced, fun, overpowered toy, if that makes sense. Because there are definitely ways that you can create a fun, overpowered toy where he just is completely dominant in every battle, and it kind of makes... There are a lot of things in video games that are like this, right? It kind of makes it not actually fun to use because it's so easy. The way Lord Croak's spells work, like, you actually have to put a little bit of effort into getting the most out of them, so he's still fun to play with, even though he is obviously cheating. And 58 kills. All these guys were fighting with Sauruses. That's actually pretty impressive. I wonder if I've underestimated Depth Guard due to the fact that we were very strongly incentivized to use like spooky ghost units during our pirate campaign. If they're actually able to kill Sauruses that effectively, that's a pretty good unit. So we found ourselves a Great Plan Archivist, which is like a fine lord, and 20,000 gold. The Pirate Cove contained great wealth in the form of treasures and items stolen from across the four quarters, but getting to it was no easy feat. When the vampire admiral at the helm of the black ship saw you approach, he immediately readied his horde of crewmen and darkling creatures for battle. After defeating the undead freebooters, you ransacked their ship as well as the hidden cave to make for a plentiful horde. So let's go ahead and assign you your last skill point. He'll lead the other new army. Or, you know what? Hold on a second. What would the loss be if we were to run another... Okay, if we were to run another army right now, the cost of running the army would be 3,300 gold, plus the Lord's upkeep, plus the upkeep for any units that we would bring in. So we wouldn't be able to put much of a stack together. I was just thinking, if we're going to put together a new army, it makes more sense to just have Krukgar take over the new army. And I kind of want to do that because we have the ability now to hire lots of cool dinosaurs and stuff. But I think we need to get our money a little bit more straight first. So, as much as I want to help with Sartosa, I think this army has to fall back to Alhaik because we got to recover a little bit. And then we are going to have Ratok take a break, bring Krukgar in here to lead this army instead. And Ratok can be the lord of the next army. So, let's have a look at Krukgar. First of all, he has his revered spear. Public Order +3 in all of our provinces is really cool. He's extremely good at fighting large enemies. He has 72 melee attack with 515 weapon strength. And +42 damage, or +42 both attack and damage versus large. So he's incredibly good at monster killing. Like, really extremely good. He's got a huge charge bonus. He has some ward save and some physical resist and some magic resist. Plus 20 armor for dinosaurs in his army. Plus leadership for dinosaurs in his army. A reduction in upkeep for sources and cold ones. Yeah, he seems pretty good. His stats are great. Yeah, here, Grimlock. Grimlock is his fancy dinosaur. I'm very excited about that. When do we get that? Level 18? Okay, we'll just have to use him very aggressively. So he already has an astronomer, which is not like a super useful follower. Let's definitely give him a librarian, because we need the research rate upgrade. And then, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of options. We'll just give him some crappy banners, I guess. The Totem of Prophecy is pretty useful. And we probably have some basic armor we could give him. Who's wearing the Gambler's armor right now? Tiktaq'to? You know what? Tiktaq'to engages in melee so infrequently. I think I'd rather have the Gambler's armor over here for that 10% all damage reduction. And then we'll give him... Yeah, he gets this as well. He is going to be personally engaged in melee a ton. He needs all of the ward saves. Okay, the Potion of Healing is probably better than any of the other stuff we have available here. Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited about getting to use him in combat. Now let's jump over to Tiktaq'to and reassign him some stuff. So magic resist, like missile resistance, is okay for him. It's not that important because he's unlikely to be in a place where he needs it. He stays back a lot, so I think let's give him the Maiming Shield instead. And then it is still reasonable for him to have some ward save. What is, Roxburgh has the Aura of Quetzal, that's right. I'm going to take the Aura of Quetzal from him. And then we're going to give Roxburgh some better defenses. I like him having the Helm of Discord, but he actually is sometimes in a place where he could be shot at. The thing is, people never shoot at him. Right, he doesn't really need a bonus to melee attack. I think we'll just... Or melee attack or weapon strength, so we'll leave that. But I'm going to give him this. He is in position to get harmed way more than Tiktaq'to is. Alright, and your equipment sort of doesn't matter. You have your Rod of the Storm, and that's good enough. Nearby flying enemies get debuffs. Actually, what are the enchanted items that we're using on these other guys? He has that missile resist. That's fine. And yeah, he has his Mask of the Heavens, which obviously we don't want to unequip because 10% movement range is the best thing in the world. Oh, actually, he has perfect vigor from his mask, so we didn't need to worry about getting him vigor anyway. I totally did not even remember that. Alright, so it looks like next turn we'll be in position, or maybe the turn after that at the latest. Be in position to hit Granite Massif. Alright, they would not attack Sartosa on the turn they got there, so I'm gonna just get nearby. Yeah, these guys are not going to do any meaningful damage. Now we're actually trending down a little bit with Tilia. We gotta either take some actions or give them some gifts, which we could do. We do have money. Okay, but we're trying, right? Does that count for anything? Yeah, okay, trending upward again. So Granite Massif has a tiny garrison, but it does have a full stack army in it. Okay, Orc Biggins are extremely not an issue for us. Night Goblin Archers, I talked a little bit about how Goblin Archers are not scary, but these ones do have poisonous weapons at least. They also have a big old catapult. Okay, we have 28,000 gold. Probably we ought to use it for something. Let's see, we can take this upgrade. We don't, like, desperately need it, but we should definitely grab that. What should we build in Phyrus? We don't want a recruitment structure. I guess what we build in Phyrus is just money. Okay, we just make more money. this is the time to build up stuff. So the Wizard Caliph's Palace. Here we could definitely establish one of these. Even more money from post-battle loot. And then we're going to want a pylon eventually. We may as well build it now. But honestly, I don't know that we need anything else here. You know what? We have a lot of ports. We have a lot of financial stuff. The Shrine of the Old Ones is reasonable. Okay, Tiktaq'to could upgrade this thing and just get more. Yeah, it's another 2% post-battle loot. Not great, but it is more money. Actually, yeah, Khemri could use some real upgrades. Maybe we should save our money for this stuff. Actually, I guess that's the only one. Oh, no, we do want to do... Here, let's cancel the upgrade to tier 4 on this building here and instead do it in Khemri, because there is actually meaningful recruitment attached to that. Okay, let's run one more cycle of enemy turns here, and then call it a day. This has been reasonably productive. I mean, this was the last one of the regions... No, sorry, it's not. This was the second to last of the regions on our checklist that we have to own. So now all we have to do is figure out what we want to do about the Southern Badlands. We're actually not that far from winning, I think. The 8 world capitals is still going to be quite a march, even if we do it by taking like the cluster of orc and dwarf capitals over here. It would help a lot if the dwarves would realize that allying with us is a very, very good thing for them to do if they would like to survive. Sorry, was the Court of Liberis really negative on me there? Is that what I just saw? We need to do one last sweep of our diplomatic situation before we move on. Because if Liberis is turning on us, then that's an issue that Tiktaq'to should resolve while he's still over there. They do only own... Oh, that's not true. I was going to say they only own the one settlement here, but they did take... they took that thing in the mountains as well. I am perfectly content to let them just hang out in our lands if they're going to be cool about it. I had assumed they would be, because Tomb Kings don't come to hate you over time the way everybody else does. The Warriors of Chaos faction seems to still be going strong. And we can see up here some areas that... Oh no, okay, Temple Off is just a very light color. I was going to say some areas that look like they're unowned. But actually what we're seeing is areas that are just owned by players who have colors on the map that are indistinguishable from unowned. What is this bit of blue here? Is this actually dwarves? Totally is. Okay, so the dwarves have managed to push pretty far north. What is this? What are you guys doing? Well, we might get to test Kroq-Gar in battle pretty soon, it looks like. And actually, I really appreciate them continuing to move south, because that's going to make it a lot easier to put Yarrick into active service after we deal with them. Alright, some High Elf faction got destroyed. Interestingly, we haven't gotten to the part of the turn cycle... Is this... Okay. We haven't gotten to the part of the turn cycle where the Chaos faction that spawns up here goes, so they were probably wiped out by another group of elves. I don't know. The Elf Civil War is like non-stop. Until one faction of elves owns all of Ulthuan, they're just constantly at each other's throats. The good thing to be mindful of, because there are Chaos units that spawn up there, but not something we have to be like overly concerned with. It's like the Warherd of Chaos is getting beaten back. I'm not 100% clear on the mechanics of the Chaos invasion. I don't know if the second wave starts when the first wave is defeated, or if there's also some other criterion of advancement that has to be true. But basically what I'm saying is we might have to be ready, because the second wave spawn might be soon. We can't guarantee that the next group of Chaos ships to spawn in the Southern Ocean will ignore us. Alright, our Skink Chief is back from his wounding. We've been issued a mission to be at war with these dwarves. Well, the leadership bonus is probably not meaningful because we don't really have a lot of leadership problems, but 500 gold for a thing you are absolutely going to do anyway is alright. Yeah, but they're just making sure to move a little bit further than we can. How many turns until we have the Red Utsunki again? 15? Alright, we will probably be firing it immediately as soon as we can. Lord Croak gets another skill point, and I think we're going to finish Supreme Shield. So we have a couple of turns left on replenishment here. We could march mode ourselves all the way over to Xandri. But I think I want to let them make landfall. If they want to land, let's let them do it. Oh, hold on. We're not actually playing this turn. What am I doing? We're just checking the diplomacy list real quickly. So,
It is great
over 100.
ally. Won't happen.
Still not enough for military access. We'll get there. Hopefully. Hopefully there is some number that will be enough. Oh, by the way, notice Kislev now has no forces at all. That's definitely worrying. Artilia, rather. How you feeling about... Nope. Okay. And no, the Court of Liberis is still super friendly. Okay, I must have seen wrong. I must have seen the little red angry face from the faction that was, like, before or after them. Okay, well, good to know that you can still rely on some people in this world. I guess, hold on, before we go, let's also have a look at our objective list. So, for a short campaign victory, we are at 11 of 14 provinces necessary to succeed. If we were to get somebody to be a military ally, this would complete instantly because almost everybody who is left has multiple provinces. So I think getting our diplomatic standing up with the dwarves enough for them to consider us for a military alliance is maybe our primary goal at this point. We have enough star chambers, Clan Moors still exist, but we'll fix that. And yeah, Arcan the Everchosen is not on the world map yet. He will be soon, though, and then we're going to have to worry about that. Like I said, there's a significant chance we will have to do this ourselves, which is going to mean, like, getting armies up to here. I have no idea how we're going to do it. It's a problem for the future, though. For now, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and come back next time, tomorrow, to see us finally put down these Midlanders, and then get back to the first thing that was distracting us from the Great Plan. And we'll see you then.